Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice, because we're going to do another episode of Frightful Fridays, in which I will be reviewing The Funeral Home, 1982. I found it on Prime Video, and there are, according to the list, some other places that it's on. And it is rated R, according to the listing. But I'll get into that later. Okay, it is a 1980 horror movie in which a young girl travels to a small town to help her grandmother, her not necessarily widowed grandmother, but her grandmother. There's at the beginning of the movie, you don't know what happened to the husband. He disappeared. So, widowed, whatever, grandmother, turned the funeral home that she lives in, it had been a funeral home when the husband was still around, into I think what the phrase they used in this was a vacation home, which is kind of a precursor to what we call B&B nowadays. People come in and just rent a place for a couple days, the weekend, get stuff, have a place to stay, and then leave. And then once the guests start arriving, some of them start disappearing. Okay. Now, this movie hits a lot of the tropes of a stranger coming into a small town movie, whether it be a horror or action adventure type of movie. You've got the stranger who doesn't know anything about the small town, because the girl knows her grandmother, but only has vague memories of the grandfather. She had, met him once or twice as a kid. And so it sort of infers that she had never been to that town. So she doesn't know anything about the town, and you've got the town, it's got, while it seems innocent and, just type of place you'd want to live, it has its little secrets that, being a secret not many people know about. You have the sheriff who is not interested in solving what eventually becomes the main thrust of the movie for some reason. And then you have the core group who are interested in solving whatever the main thing is in that movie. And then you've got the really strange character, which 99% of the time winds up being the red herring of the movie that becomes the suspect. In this case, it is a severely mentally challenged handyman that worked for the grandfather, before he disappeared, and the grandmother doesn't like him, so she keeps him out in a shed out behind. So obviously that's going to be, that's going to be the suspect of whatever. So this girl, Heather is her name, meets a guy, which because she was supposed to she came in by bus and got dropped off way outside of town or whatever, and her grandmother and the you know the guy was supposed to pick her up, but there is a car breaks down, so she gets picked up by a guy who is driving what back in the day we used to call a rape van. It was the van with the front windshield and then the windows on each of the doors and then no other windows on it. And she jumps in like it's normal. I mean, that's back in the day, people did stuff like that. And that becomes the boyfriend. And he's the one who, according to the tropes, fills her in on some of the little secrets and, says, well, no, that's not what happened. This is the way things work. Your father your grandfather, he disappeared and, wait, he was supposed to have been having an affair with so-and-so or with somebody, and that's why he disappeared. So, you've got all that going. This guy's brother is one of the deputies, and so it's Heather, the boyfriend Rick, and the deputy all are kind of trying to figure out there's a subplot of a couple people missing over the years that they haven't figured out why they disappeared, and the sheriff has no interest in figuring it out. And once this place opens, some of the guests start disappearing, and the sheriff is still just like, hey, people disappear. And so Heather isn't really trying to figure that thing out directly. It's more of a side reason. She keeps hearing noises in the basement of her house that should be not going on. She hears her grandmother arguing with somebody down in the basement when there's not supposed to be anyone else in the house with them, and then the grandmother saying, don't ever go down into the basement, don't ever go down into the cellar. So she's trying to figure that out, like what's going on, and turns out that's all connected. Now, that's just basically a recap of the plot. I'm not going to go any farther than that because, spoilers and all that. Now, for a standard paint-by-the-numbers movie, first of all, let's have to get back to this. I have no idea why this movie was rated R. It looks like it was a made-for-TV movie because there's like a little fade out and a fade in, like when you're watching getting a DVD of insert any TV show back, like your copy of Airwolf or something like that, or Knight Rider 18, Facts of Life, whatever. It fades to the commercial break and fades back on. There's that, which sort of gives away. And the gore seems to be kind of made for TV-ish in that era. Okay, but for your standard paint-by-the-numbers, possibly made for TV movie back in the days, it wasn't bad. I mean, you've got the acting. I don't think these guys meant to be making a really high quality movie or even a really super quality movie, and they make no illusions about it. I mean, it's not, they're not making it intentionally bad, which it's not. It's not bad. But you're not going to be walking away from this going, holy shit, that was a good movie. Uh, the acting is kind of on par with the level of the movie. It was adequate. It was acceptable. The writing was good. There's a couple of funny moments in it. uh, it's just you get what you get what you see, and it was acceptable. You know, there's a couple little things in there that I just didn't understand why were in the movie. Mainly, like there's this black cat that keeps appearing in the movie, and it seems like it's supposed to be saying something with the plot, and I really don't see what it was doing there, but they had it in there like pivotal scenes in the movie that, you know, it's like, why is that cat even here? It's not doing anything. And I could sort of see the ending, somewhat of the ending coming. So it was sort of, I really don't want to say derivative, but it was sort of, I could sort of see what was, not exactly, but how it was going to wind up, just due to the way that they shot certain things. Which was kind of interesting. It was, okay, that's a little different. It's been done before, but it's still a little different in a kind of a reversal type of way. Like I said, I don't want to give away the ending, so I can't really go any further into that than that. But yeah, I have to say, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. It's not, you know, it's not an Exorcist. It's not, you know, Hell House. It's not, you know, but it's not one of my favorite low, you know, F level horror movies. The Lost the Pastor. It's capably done and capably acted. And there's not any real things that you're like, what? There's none of that. So, I'm going to give it a 3.25 out of 5. I mean, it's probably not anything I'm going to watch again. But it was enjoyable, and it's not something that I'm going to sit there and say I wasted my damn time watching it. I enjoyed it. And so I'm going to recommend you grab it. I mean, if you have time and you want to watch something enjoyable and just kind of veg out and watch a good movie, not great, but good. The Funeral Home. So, like I said, 3.25 out of 5. Give it a watch. All right. Like, subscribe, and most of all, enjoy your horror movies.